So you may have heard the unique ethereal sounds of steel tongue drums, and it can be overwhelming deciding which one or how many to get, as they come in so many different shapes, sizes, and designs. So the topic of this video is how many steel tongue drums do you actually need? You may think, what's the point of even asking this question? Like, why not just get one? The problem is that while these drums definitely have an impressive sound, it's quickly realized that they have a major limitation compared to most other instruments, and that they can only play in one scale. So while people definitely collect other instruments like guitars or keyboards, you technically only need one keyboard or guitar to learn how to play any song, while with tongue drums, it seems like you're really stuck to just one scale. Or in the case of these double-sided drums shown here from Kosmosky, just two scales. But wait, that's not really the case. Fortunately, these drums are tunable with the use of these little magnets shown here. By placing one of them like this, below a tongue, you can easily lower the note by a semitone as shown here. Technically, you can tune the drum using this method to most scales, but you'd have to be tuning the drum with multiple magnets each time you want to change scales, which I feel like is a killer of inspiration and really annoying when playing with other people. So I say having preset magnets laying around specific tongues that can quickly tune the drum to the next closest scale is the way to go to quickly change keys without having to spend minutes tuning the drum each time. I'll give a demo of that here. So now that you see how easy it is to change the scale of a drum to its next closest scale, let's recap how many scales I can quickly get with the two double-sided drums that I have, in comparison to the 24 major and minor scales in Western music. The first side of the drum on the left contains all notes within the F major slash D minor scale, meaning this scale has all natural notes and one flat note, B flat. I can easily change E natural to E flat with just one magnet to tune it so it has the notes of the next closest scale, B flat major slash G minor. On the other side of the drum, the scale has the notes C major slash A minor, which I can quickly change to the change the G natural note to F sharp, so it has the notes of the next closest scale, G major slash E minor. So for this one drum, I can quickly have access to 4 major scales and 4 minor scales with this quick tuning method. Now, the first drum on the right also has notes that would all fit within the G major slash E minor scale, so there is some overlap here, but I can easily lower a D natural note to C sharp with just one magnet to tune it so it now has the notes of the next closest scale, D major slash B minor. On the other side of the drum, the scale has the notes of the scale A major slash F sharp minor, which I can quickly change the E natural in the scale to D sharp, so it has the notes of the next closest scale, E major or C sharp minor. Also, I can play almost all the notes in the scale of B major slash G sharp minor with the scale on the right, besides A sharp, or all the notes in the scale of E flat major, besides A flat with the scale on the left. So you can see how with two double-sided drums, I can play in most of the scales in Western music. Again, I can technically flatten or sharpen more notes to get even more scales, but it starts to become tedious, uninspiring, and overall inconvenient to get all notes perfectly tuned. So now to summarize the video, let's revisit the question of how many steel tongue drums do you actually need. Having one-sided drum, like a cheap one from Amazon here, is good for beginners that are into simple meditation and casual play. You can easily get two scales, but anything more would be annoying to switch to if you want to make every note perfectly tuned, and therefore hard to compose music or play with others in any other key. Now considering one two-sided drum, using the one scale away method like I was showing earlier, by keeping magnets close to just one or two tongues so you can quickly tune them to the next closest scale, you can easily get 4 scales from one drum, which is definitely more versatile than a single-sided drum, and it's decent for playing with others or composing music in other keys, but still a little bit limiting. With two two-sided drums, you have about 7 to 8 major and minor scales by tuning using the closest scale away method, and can play in most scales with omitting just 1 to 2 notes. I feel at this point there's hardly any limitation on the key signatures you are able to play in. If you really want to play in all scales, you can of course tune the drums to further than the closest scale away anyway. But again, then it's going to start to become a little more tedious, but it should be fine for this purpose. Otherwise, a third drum may not be necessary, but can help easily cover all the other remaining scales. Of course, you may collect other steel tongue drums for different types of tonal quality, but the point of this video was more on how to not be limited by scales, which I think two double-sided drums fill that purpose, while having a third drum could eliminate any limitation whatsoever if that's what you're after.